Hey guys, welcome back to Coin Knowledge. So today I kind of want to go over the markets, kind of what's been going on recently, give you my opinion on my short, mid, and long-term scope on the crypto markets, where I'm looking at, where I potentially see us going in the short term and closer to the end of the year, even 2025. So stick around. I'll kind of give you my price predictions on where we're going to go in the market, where I'm looking at specifically, since we've been seeing a lot of red in the markets. If you guys are a fan of kind of these crypto updates and kind of market updates, let you know where I'm at currently, consider subscribing to the channel and liking the videos. Support means everything. So right now, we can see if we look at, really across the whole board of crypto, we've been seeing a lot of red recently, especially within crypto, specifically, right, or Bitcoin right now. Right now, it's trading at about just over $41,000 at the time of this recording. But if you look at the 7-day, I mean, 10% down on the 7-day. Even on the 1 month, it's still down a little bit. Granted, we had a big spike up kind of leading up to the ETF news. And then we just saw, again, that 10% drop over the 7 days, especially when we saw that, the Bitcoin ETF obviously got approved. They announced it, and that was really not a shocker there, but it's kind of feeling like it was a, buy the rumor, sell the news event. But, and it's kind of shaping up to be like that, and we were talking about this before the ETF even got approved. We were saying that on this channel, we were, saying that, that the ETF was kind of already getting priced in my opinion. And I mean, especially when you look at the 1-year chart. First of all, and another thing we've been calling for this whole time is a correction before the halving. I mean, obviously, if we look at the 1 year, Bitcoin's still up 100%. We started last year at about 15K, and we're up, over 100% on the 1 year. So obviously, in the last quarter of 2023, we started around that 25-30 range mark, and it just shot all the way up and didn't really take any serious pullbacks when you really look at it. I mean, we were at 43, kind of consolidated a little bit. Then leading up to the ETF, we saw, about 47. I think even maybe 48, I want to say, a quick spike up. I want to say, we got over 48 for a little bit. So everyone was thinking we'd break 50. We didn't. But when you zoom out, when you're in doubt, zoom out, look at it. It's a correction. That's what we needed. And who knows? Maybe some people are calling for, Bitcoin to kind of skyrocket again. If we look at the last bull market, in 2020, 2021, you can either argue saying that, let me see if I can blow this chart up here for the last cycle. You can argue saying that we are either right here, kind of, let me see if I can blow this up even more for you guys, just to make this a little bit easier. Some people think that we're, right here, in this range right here, leading up to a, kind of going right up, right after the Bitcoin halving, the ETF news, all the new liquidity pouring in, that we might see new all-time highs from Bitcoin, and then again, kind of that summer dump afterwards, and then, see a second top for the year, either whether that be at the end of 2024, beginning of 2025. I think that, we still have a little bit more time. I think that the first quarter of 2024 is, quite frankly, going to be kind of a boring one. I think that we're maybe somewhere back here a little bit. I think that we still have a little bit more time to accumulate, and then we will maybe even somewhere right here, but not, on a second top. So I think that we have a little bit more time to accumulate. I would think that really, I think the markets are going to trade. And this is just my opinion, by the way. None of this is financial advice. I'm just literally getting on here telling you guys, hey, these are my thoughts, my opinion. I could be 100% wrong, and I'm sure I will be wrong in some regards. No one can time the market. Please never think you can. Don't ever trust any YouTuber you're going to watch, because nobody knows where it's going to go for sure. We all just have our own ideas. I mean, that's just what it is. So we can talk about it in comments below if you guys think otherwise. I'd love to hear your guys' keadback on it. So looking at it, I think, from here until about March, we're going to see crypto just kind of trade sideways. If not, I think we're going to keep going down a little bit. But, you need to look at that as a bad thing or a great thing. I'm looking at it, honestly, as like a great thing. I already have a lot of my positions kind of stacked, as we've been doing throughout the bear market. So I'm pretty positioned. But, yeah, if we dip further down in some of our quality projects that we've been covering on the channel, which we'll go into here in a little bit, dip below certain levels, then yeah, I'm probably going to look at adding to my positions, because I think that this next dip we're going to see is going to be one of the last dips before, again, maybe a summer dip if we follow the last cycle, and then get to a new all-time high for Bitcoin, and then we'll see a couple weeks after that, see altcoins kind of reach their highs. You know the whole deal. We'll be here covering that when we get there, but that's kind of where my idea is on Bitcoin right now. Jeez, look at that all chart for Bitcoin. It's insane. But anyway, that's kind of what I'm thinking about Bitcoin. So if you're looking at the retrace right now and the dipping of Bitcoin, I wouldn't freak out. Honestly, again, we're up so much on Bitcoin. It just like any other chart you see, we're due for a correction. That's what I think this is. I think we're going to go a little bit further down. I don't think I'll rant about Bitcoin a little bit more, and we'll kind of get into the overall market, and again, a little bit more, side-by-side comparisons there. But, some people are saying that Bitcoin might get down to closer to the low 30s. I think we hover around 40K. Honestly, hover around 40K, stay in the high 30s, maybe 36, 38K range a little bit, and leading up to the halving. And then, I think we're going to see a little bit higher on Bitcoin there. But, I don't think we're going to see the all-time highs maybe until later in 2024. I'm kind of thinking November, just like the last cycle. If we look at the last cycle, we can see that Bitcoin kind of topped out. That's actually one of the next charts we'll look at. But if we look at the price for Bitcoin, I think it was November 18th, if I remember. I was there. It was quite a time. So if we look here, November 13th. So very close. November 13th was about 64K. I think it was still above that. I don't know. I think it went higher on November 18th, I want to say. But either way, again, mid-November is when Bitcoin really topped in 2021. I think we're going to see that very similar pattern this year. But if we bleed into 2025, there's so many different variables on this cycle. Again, you have the ETF news. You have so much more crypto users. And then we have actual traditional businesses getting involved with different sectors. Obviously, if you're anything familiar with this channel, you know that we primarily cover crypto gaming. It's what I'm passionate about. It's what I know. But if you look at the market across the board, you can see right now the overall market cap of crypto is 1.6 trillion. If we look at the all chart of the last cycle, we topped out. We were going into it about maybe a trillion, kind of roughly about where we're at roughly right now. And then the first top was, if it'll show me, about a 2 trillion. We took that summer dump, and then we topped out at about 3 trillion in overall market cap. So that's about a 2x right now from where we're standing. I think that the absolute top that we see this bull market, I honestly am one of the guys rooting for maybe an 8 to 10 trillion, extremely bullish case, 8 to 10 trillion dollars in overall market cap for the whole crypto market as a whole, because of the fact that, again, we have so many more businesses getting involved. We have so many more, crypto owners, crypto users. We have so many more projects, obviously. And now we have Bitcoin ETF. We're probably going to get an Ethereum ETF. And I know everyone always speculates if a Solana ETF, a BNB, Avalanche will come one day. Maybe, who knows? But again, that's speculating, but who knows? But again, when you look at across the market right now, obviously Bitcoin's going down, Ethereum is going down, even though it's kind of holding up better than Bitcoin, I would say. Solana's even kind of slightly going down. Everything's going down, but there's a lot of good, values here if you're looking at it. Again, the point is that if you're looking at projects within your own portfolio and you're like, man, I wish I could have, maybe accumulated a little bit more, this might be your last chance, honestly. Maybe quarter one of this year, 2024. I think this is going to provide you some of those great entry positions, especially when we look at the sector that I'm extremely bullish on, that we cover a lot on this channel, is crypto gaming. Right now, almost everything is down for the most part. So much blood in the markets. When we're looking across the board, we look at some of our favorite projects like Cetify. We saw them go up over $4. Now they're under $3, and I think they're going to continue to bleed. And they have upcoming launch or IGOs coming up here. So again, maybe accumulating a launch pad, might not be a bad idea. And if we look at something like Cetify, just for an example's sake, if we're looking across projects like this, please do not get scared out of the market. If you look over the 1 year chart, look at it. Bitcoin or Cetify got over $4, and it's the same project that it is today. If anything, it's better than where it was, a couple months ago, about a month ago, $4, but now it's under $3. What's changed? Fundamentally, if you're a fan of Cetify or whatever project that you like, that you're looking at, and you can see that it's retraced because of Bitcoin, because of the recent market dips, what's changed? If it's just price that's scaring you out of your position, maybe you shouldn't be in that position. And that might sound, a little, not nice, but it's true though. It's a harsh reality is that if you're just looking at the price short term and it's freaking you out, you're thinking about selling or something or panicking, maybe you shouldn't even be there. And that's just, again, I'm not trying to sound harsh, but you have to just have that long-term conviction. I believe that crypto, yes, you can make short-term games with like meme coins and stuff like that and mid-term games, but I always look at crypto as a long-term game. If you have a long-term perspective, you will always kind of come out on top, especially over this bear market. Again, we were talking about the bear market. We were here the last several years. We didn't go anywhere. You can check back on the video or on the channels. We were here the whole bear market, covering projects like Cetify, like Altura, even Bitcoin, at about 16K. And again, we were here. We had that long-term conviction. At the last quarter of 2023, we were, seeing the fruits of our labor. We were looking at, Cetify when it was about 60 cents, and then it got up over $4. That was almost like an 8x right there, 7 to 8x. So you have to have that long-term conviction. So just know that when you're looking at projects like this. So stuff that I'm looking at, I'm looking at stuff like launch pads like Cetify, infrastructure plays, stuff like, I know it's kind of higher up here, Beam. I believe they actually retraced back down to about an $800 million market cap here recently. But I think Beam is, has high potential. I think Beam's going to be kind of quote unquote air quotes here is because nothing's guaranteed or safe in crypto at all. But I think it's a safe, 10x in my opinion. If you're looking at a high market cap project to add to your portfolio, it's more of like a infrastructure play, alongside like an immutable X. Honestly, Ronin has some of the highest volume or transactions out of all the gaming chains. So Ronin, I'm very bullish on. Or even you go to gaming infrastructure platform, gaming studios like Treasure, Magic. We saw Magic kind of follow the Arbitrum, price action, making new all-time highs. We saw that Magic kind of rode the backbone of Arbitrum right there, since it's built on Arbitrum. So Arbitrum I'd be looking at a little bit. Echelon Prime is actually taking quite a dip. We saw them get over $10. I think even $11. Cetify, obviously they're a launch pad. If we look here, Vulcan Forge, with everything that they have going on with their Layer 1, their Elysium chain, with all the different games they have. I think it's like 10 games. They're making them higher quality over time. They have their Metascapes, Metaverse as a Service, Metaverse Builder. They just put a game on the Oculus Meta Quest or Oculus Quest. Meta Quest. I don't know, the Oculus VR headset from Facebook, from Meta. I own one. I just forget the name of it. But that's very bullish. I've yet to see another project do that in the space. So Vulcan Forge is, again, one that we were talking about $2.50. One that I'm still very bullish on, that if you're looking at something like a Vulcan Forge, again, just use it as an example, not the end-all, be-all, project here. Compare it to whatever project is in your own, bag, your own portfolio, and just compare it to that. If you look over the 1 year, we saw that something like a Vulcan Forge, as an example, kind of climbed up to, I think it was like $8, almost $9, and now it's dipping to $6. That's about a 30% correction right there. But again, what has really changed? If we look at it, after that 30% correction, what's really changed fundamentally? If anything, to me, they've only gotten better. Again, they launched a game on the Oculus Meta Quest. They're still building their Elysium chain. They still are adding quality to their games. They have good volume. People are still talking about Vulcan Forge. I love Vulcan Forge. They have the Vulcan nodes. So much going on there. That's a whole other rant, whole other video. We've done videos on Vulcan Forge if you're interested, but nothing fundamentally has changed. So when I look at a project like this, I see maybe a great entry zone if I had missed a boat. Granted, again, shameless plug, we were talking about Vulcan Forge all bear market around that 250 cents mark. That's when we were accumulating, was under $3, and I was screaming to you guys, pretty much telling you guys, hey, under $3 Vulcan Forge is a great buy. Not financial advice, just, was my opinion, and it seemed to have paid off in the time. So, again, just an example, but, we've missed calls, too. Everyone's going to miss calls. You can't catch them all. Even stuff like, let's see here, Nakamoto Games, they've climbed down a lot. I had somebody just recently ask me about my opinion on Naka, so I'll answer it. I did answer it in comments because I try to answer all you guys' comments, and so far I've been successful, but I'm trying to. But, if we look at it, something like a Nakamoto Games, great example, by the way. It ran so much. I mean, if we look at, look at the market cap here, they went from like a sub $10 million market cap, I believe at one point, and then they just climbed all the way to $170 million in market cap, and now they're $107 million in market cap. So if you were looking at something like a Nakamoto Games that ran so much, and now it is retraced, quite a bit. It's probably about 30%, retracement on Naka. Again, great accumulation zone if you have high conviction in Naka, which I do. It's not part of my portfolio, full disclosure, but Just because, again, I missed that pump, I missed that wave, and I'm looking at other projects that are similar to Naka at a smaller scale, maybe on different chains. But again, something like that, you can look at it and go like, hey, that might be a good accumulation. Something like Wilder World. I think the metaverse narrative is going to be very huge whenever Apple releases its Meta, or that's Apple VR, which we'll be talking about in a future video, because I know there's a project here, the Root Network, who actually made a partnership with Apple. Believe I scrolled past it, maybe not, but again, something like Metaverse. I think the Metaverse narrative will probably have a little bit of steam here in a couple of weeks when Apple releases its Meta, or that's VR, or Metaverse, or the VR headset. Sorry, getting tongue twisted, but I digress. You look at, again, just look, the point of this video is just letting you guys know, hey, this is what I'm doing. This is how I'm looking at the market. I'm not necessarily getting scared out of it. I mean, again, times like this, when you have your high conviction, I'm looking at some of these projects and I'm looking at it and go like, these are great accumulations, in my opinion. I mean, some of these are getting extremely cheap. We'll look at a couple just to kind of close out this video. I don't want it to go too long, but, something like a Shrapnel. We've seen this Shrapnel get up to, I think it was like, what, 40 cents around there? Yeah, right around 40 cents, and now it's at 22 cents. I mean, again, we were buying it when it was like 15 cents right after the lawsuit FUD, and then it kind of bounced back. So, again, we're sitting pretty all right on Shrapnel. Either way, it's not freaking me out. We're still up a little bit, but, we're about a 2.5-ish X at the peak of Shrapnel, and you still don't have the tokens kind of getting diluted and getting vested out until around April of 2024, coming up here soon. But you can obviously either reach out to the team, watch stuff like Crypto Rank or DAP Radar, stuff like that, so you can kind of see the vesting schedules. Keep an eye on that stuff, because when the tokens start getting vested on Shrapnel, it might be one to definitely just keep your look on, or keep your eyes on. But if we're in a full-blown bear, I don't know if we will be by April, but if we are, maybe it won't affect it as much. But still, if you're very bullish on Shrapnel being like one of the leading games on Avalanche, something like 22 cents, when, again, what's really changed in a month? I mean, I still have conviction in Shrapnel. The game looks great. Again, their game's launching here hopefully soon in the beginning of 2024. So I'm looking at it like maybe a potential entry. One that's kind of getting, in my opinion, cheap again, relatively, from where it was, is Mira. We saw Mira, go over, what, $100 million in market cap here. Yeah, so they're about 133. I don't know if that's quite accurate. It might be about $120 million in market cap, and they've almost taken a 50% deduction there, or retrace. But again, they ran hard from what, sub 10 million, 30 million, all the way up to over 120 million. So when you're looking at something like a Mira, yeah, they're 40% down on the 1 month. Getting pretty back down to, maybe an accumulation zone. It's kind of dipping a lot, so I'd maybe watch Mira if it's something that you're interested in. If you're looking at getting access or exposure to a project like Mira, again, that's building a layer 2 with their Mira chain, zero gas fees for gaming projects, or have over 100 games, or around 100 games already building on Mira's platform. They don't have any games out from Mira themselves. That's always kind of the big speculation, but you can also look at that as maybe a potential catalyst for the future, along with, obviously more exchange listings, as most of these projects could use and probably will get. But even at a $71 million circulating market cap, I think Mira is, pretty good buy right now. But again, not financial advice. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm actually telling you, please don't take my word. Go do your own research. Never listen to anyone online, because nobody knows. I'm just giving you my opinion, what I'm thinking about right now. And I don't want this video to go too long, but, I get some of these questions, and I want to let you guys know this is what I'm doing. Full disclosure is what I'm doing. Look at games for a living. They're about to get under a $50 million circulating market cap, and man, that looks good to me. Personally, again, we saw games for a living. That's kind of a spike up. We made a video on that, but I mean, they were over a $63 million, $66 million circulating market cap. They do token unlocks every month that don't really affect the price heavily. They're not really big unlocks, so I'm not too worried about it. But Games for a Living, I think, is very quality. Obviously, they have their Elemental Raiders game out. They have more games coming out. We just did a roadmap review on them. They'll be coming out, I believe, on Monday at the time of this recording. But keep a lookout for that. Very bullish things for them. Altura, another infrastructure play, getting really cheap at a $36 million market cap. Smart NFTs. Playable Games, probably one of the more value buys in my opinion. Obviously, we saw Playable Games run up hard as well, from about a $10 million market cap to $50 million, and now they're getting to $22 million in circulating market cap, and they have their Nexus game. They're having another game coming out, more games coming out. They have their own subnet on Avalanche. So again, something I'm very bullish on. So either way, guys, that's kind of just my rough take. Again, if you're looking at, the markets right now and you're like, oh man, things are kind of bleeding. I don't know what I should be doing. Don't get scared out. If you already have your positions set, do nothing. If you want to have it easy, do nothing. Don't check your wallet. Come back in a couple months. You're done. If you have your positions set and you're happy with where you're at, that's it. Just take a break. Come back, in a couple months around the Bitcoin halving. I mean, if we look at it, we can see here we're about 100 days away from the Bitcoin halving right now. Pretty exciting stuff. I think that could be, obviously everyone believes it's going to be a big catalyst, but either way, let's talk about the comments below. What are you guys doing in the markets right now? What are some projects that you're looking at, that maybe are dipping, or ones that we haven't covered you want me to cover? Let's talk about it. Recommend them in the comments. I try to answer all you guys' comments, and I appreciate any and all feedback you guys give me, and the support you guys have shown the channel over the last year has been incredible to me, and I'm very thankful for that. So thank you to everyone who watches. You have no idea, and you probably never will have any idea of how much it means to me. So again, seriously, thank you all, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. All right, see you guys.